The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
Cowboys 43, Rams 20. That was the final score on Sunday. Big win for the Cowboys. And this is Cowboys Storyline. We're here to talk about it. I'm Nick Eatman here, Monday, October the 30th. And the Cowboys are now 5-2. They've won 2 straight games after losing to the 49ers. The 49ers have lost 3 straight. What's going on in this NFL world? Crazy stuff all the way around. Just look at the scores yesterday. Chiefs losing to the Broncos for the first time in like 18 games or something like that. And a lot of weird games happening around the league. Washington and Philly went back and forth. It was a big one for the Eagles. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Eagles game coming up this week, but the Cowboys took care of business at home. That's the one we'll obviously be focusing on at AT&T Stadium for the 11th straight win at home. Pretty impressive there for the Cowboys to take care of business at home, and for that crowd to have a home field advantage, really, if you will, and that's what it's become, and that hasn't always been the case at AT&T Stadium. Let's be honest about that. It hasn't been that way all the time, but it feels like that now. Noon game against the Rams. Weather's not great. It's coldest day that it's been in a while. Maybe people are going to come in late. Those towels were flying right at kickoff. It was a lot of people in the stands there for a noon game. So the give credit to the home crowd. Big win for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott played a great game. CeeDee Lamb just lights out. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is showing why he is a true number one, and the price tag just keeps going up and up for him. But that's okay, because he's earning the big contract that he will get. Speaking of that, Micah Parsons does his thing on the other side, and then DaRon Bland. I mean, what can you say? DaRon Bland, he's got 3 touchdowns this year. There's a lot of great players in the NFL that don't have 3 touchdowns. He is just playing lights out, and he is he's looking like a Pro Bowl cornerback, right? I mean, what else can you say? No player in the history of the Cowboys has had 3 interceptions for touchdowns in a season. Only 29 guys in the league have ever done it. Only 3 people have done it 4 times, and he's got 10 games to do that. So big time effort there for DaRon Bland. All right, we're going to talk about all this stuff. 888-855-2297. We got 2 callers on the line, so let's go right to it. Joe in Stanford, you're back to the leadoff position again. You're starting us off. Joe, what's up?
Oh, yeah, I had to get there today, brother. Hey, noon game at home. I bet your family was happy to see you, huh?
Yeah, definitely good. Oh, maybe not in the morning to leave that early, but yeah, it's always nice to walk out of the stadium with daylight. It doesn't happen very often, and it won't happen again after, I guess, daylight savings is this week. But yeah, it was a good game to start things off, and the Cowboys did their part.
Yeah, no doubt. I called a couple of weeks ago, and I was, I didn't just completely diss Dak, but I was pretty distressed about him and very unsure. I got to say, after those 2 sacks, I was like, oh, my God, what is happening? And then Dak did what I wasn't sure he could do. He took his team on his shoulders, and he made the plays to get this team over the hump and then kick their butt the rest of the game. It was outstanding. I could talk about a lot of things, but the biggest thing we saw was Dak Prescott being a guy who can win games for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, he certainly could, and did in that game for sure. Thank you for the call, Joe. Unless you had another question. I think that's it. I like it. A good way to start us off, and that's what he did. And a lot of times, fan bases, media, whatever, it seems like when it's a win like this, then it's not a big game. If it was a loss, then it was like, what's going on? Obviously, it's almost like that's what people expect to happen, but. I thought it was a big game. I mean, I think they're all going to be big at this point. Especially when you lose to the Cardinals like they did. I think it should put on everyone's radar what this team can do. We haven't seen them beat a really good team That's not the. I mean, who's a good team? I don't even know. I mean, the Niners are struggling right now, but even on their schedule, I mean, the Chargers look pretty good, I guess. The Jets, the Jets, Chargers, and the Rams are all going to be kind of competitive there. They're going to be there at the end, but we haven't really seen it. We're going to see it this week. Cowboys are going to face the Eagles, and their record says that they are the best in the league. We'll see if they are over time, but no, I think Dak went out. It was a big game yesterday. If they're going to be the type of team that they want to be, you got to take care of the teams like the Rams, and they did, and it didn't start off well. A couple of sacks early, and Zach Martin had some issues with Aaron Donald, who doesn't, but they cleaned it up, and and Dak did his thing. I think he's just playing like we said. He's just playing with instincts, playing like a football player. All right, Raza in Springfield, Virginia. You're next. Raza, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Dick?
Hey, man, how are you?
Good, man. It was a great win yesterday. Loved it. Enjoyed it. I had a feeling we were going to have a blowout. We just do good with like QBs that aren't as mobile.
Yeah.
We usually dominate them. Just got a couple of points and then one question for you. A lot because the trade deadline's approaching. A lot of fans, they want Jerry to be aggressive. I really like Jerry as a GM. I'm one of those fans that thinks he's a good GM. Our team's always competitive. He always has the pieces. We just, I don't know, somehow can't get over the hump. Who knows? But he always has a team that's competitive. And one thing about Jerry that fans need to realize, he's not going to get fired. So these other GMs like Howie and stuff, they have bosses. So they have to be, aggressive, make moves. Jerry, he's going to be here. He's thinking long haul because he's going to be here. So that's why, I know fans, that's why just the only minor thing about Jerry where he's not always that aggressive, but he's always going to be here. He always has a competitive team. So,
Yeah.
And then if I had a trade deadline wish, it'd be 2 first-round picks to get number 99 from yesterday. But I know it's not going to happen. That's just my wish. And then my one question for you, and I'll listen, is how would you stop the tush push?
All right. Awesome. Good stuff. Thanks for the call. I think Jerry is aggressive. I think he's probably the most aggressive one over there with Steven, Will, McCarthy. I think Jerry is probably he's pretty aggressive, and I think he wants to make moves. I think they do look at it long term. And you're right. I mean, when you know you're not getting fired, I mean, the pressure if things don't work out, it's just okay, doesn't work out, and people will talk about it until the next big move, and then they'll kind of maybe forget it or write it down or whatever. But you're right; it doesn't affect things. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But sometimes that's actually a good thing. I don't know about the trade deadline coming up. I mean, we'll see if the Cowboys decide to do something. Again, we're not going to talk specific players that are on other teams. I don't think 2 firsts for anybody is going to happen, and I don't know if that's actually. I don't think this team needs to do that. This team needs their draft picks now, so it's going to have to be somebody that really, really fits what they're doing if they're going to make a move, because they've already lost their 4th, 5th, and 6th picks for next year. They'll probably get couple of picks maybe in the 5th or 6th round compensatory for Schultz and McGovern, but nothing too great there. And then how would I stop the tush push? Well, I would if I'm the NFL, I get rid of it. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, if I'm the NFL, I ban the play. And I think how you do it is you say if you line up in the backfield, you can't push people forward. I think it's hypocritical for what the league does, honestly. When you think about it, you can't jump on a player to block a field goal. That's called leveraging, right? It's 15-yard penalty. You can't use another player to be taller. What, are you just going to get on someone's shoulders and block a kick? I mean, you can't do that then. So why should you be able to use other people's strength to move you? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I heard forward progress stop twice in the game. They mentioned it there, but yet for some reason it doesn't matter when you've got 6 guys pushing. I just think it goes against what the league is trying to do. You can't use other players to benefit. What are you going to just? I mean, can you pick people up in basketball and let them dunk? I mean, it doesn't make sense. So I would get rid of the play. I mean, I'm never a big fan of the pushing. It's just, all right, whose offensive lineman is stronger than the rest so they can just, push 6 guys forward. The defense certainly can't do that. But for this year, because it is going to be in play, I don't know what you can do. There's really not much you can do on this. It's just about being strong. And now you're seeing the Eagles have already, like, you put too many guys in there, then they'll run a play out of it. So I have a feeling that the competition committee will probably change it. But as for this year, stay out of 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, because don't expect it to get. I mean, it's tough. And also, Jason Kelce, the center, is better than most centers. So that's where it starts. I mean, it starts there. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts is a big, strong running back type of player. So you had that combination. It's working better for them than it works for a lot of other teams. All right, Ronnie in New Jersey is next. Ronnie, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing? Sorry, I was reading a message here. Yeah, I'm doing good. How's it going?
It's good. It's great, actually. Nick, the one thing I loved about this game, Dak played how we always wanted him to play. Like, Dak was actually moving around in the pocket. He was scrambling out. Yeah, he wasn't running for yards or anything like that, but how he played, just moving around was great. Yeah, his accuracy in this game, he was on point in this game, and I loved it. I'm pretty sure all fans, we loved it. So I would like to see if they just keep on doing exactly how they did in this game. They all the movement with the wide receivers. That's what we've been calling for. Like, that's why I think so many fans, we've been disappointed in some of the games before, because we know we have the talent, they have the skill. Now with the coaching just doing what they need to do, I think this team is going to do a lot better. Now, the tush push, Nick, I think the one way you could stop this, put Hankins right over Kelsey. Blow him up. Put Hankins, put those big defensive tackles that we have, Gallimore and our first-round pick, line those 3 guys up right in the middle, and go man for man, see how that play is going to work out for them. I think if we give it some pushback, they're going to stop that play against us, that's for sure. But a great win. I hope we bring it for Philadelphia. I think this is going to be the biggest matchup of the year so far after the 49ers game, but this is going to be the real matchup. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. I did see the 49ers a couple weeks ago. I think they were playing the Vikings. I saw Fred Warner just fly over the top for that play and actually stop Cousins on the tush push. Then again, I mean, Jalen Hurts does it better than others. I mean, it's just different. Now, if I'm the Cowboys on offense, if you're going to run it, I mean, I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. You're not fooling anybody on what you're trying to do. So why not put guys in the backfield that have more strength? I mean, you don't have to just put the running back and the tight end or 2 running backs back there. I mean, just put the biggest, strongest guy you have. Just put Mozzie Smith in the game for that reason. I mean, who are you fooling? I mean, this is what we're doing. Stop it. I mean, that's kind of the way I would look at it. But it's a unique play, and it's definitely changing. We're seeing teams copy it and now run plays off of it as well. Go back to what you said about Dak. You said Dak didn't run for a lot of yards. Well, I'll tell you what he did. It was 4 carries for 19 yards. You just look at the stats and you think, okay, that's not a big deal. But there was 2 plays in the game. One of it was 3rd and 2, and he got 2. Another time was 3rd and 11, and he got 12. So 14 yards right there out of his 19 were on third down plays. One was 3rd and long. He scrambled, got it. Another time he went around the left side, also got it. And the Cowboys were able to get a touchdown and a field goal on those 2 drives. So that's 10 points right there on 14 yards. That is a big deal. 10 points is a big deal on any game. And so I think that his runs are calculated. And when it's time to make a move, he's done that, and it has helped this team win games and helped this team score, and that's a big deal. So I wouldn't discount the yardage. It's the timing of it, and yesterday he did a really, really good job with that. All right, let's go to Brian in Kansas City. Brian is next. What's up, Brian?
Hey, good morning, Nick.
Good morning. How's it going there? I'm sure Kansas City's not feeling so great about their team right now. That's weird. It's weird league.
Divisional games, man.
Yeah.
Divisional games.
I agree. Washington is not anywhere close to Philadelphia talent-wise, but they know how to play the Eagles. They just do, and that's they haven't won this year, but same with Denver and Kansas City. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, one of the things I noticed yesterday and I know you were a big fan of this game, so you tell me if you agree. This reminded me of the game opening day 2 years ago against the Bucs. It looked like that kind of offense. That not a lot of running, spread the ball around. If you remember, they were without Zach Martin that day.
Are you talking about at Tampa?
Yes. Was that 3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah. Well, when you said that, my first thought was the game, I guess, the start 2022, and they scored 3 points. So at home, that's when I was thinking. I was like, wait, we got a 40-point difference here. You're talking about the game, yes, that they lost at Tampa. Yeah, that was the start of 2021. So you're right, 2 years ago. And, 29. They lost, I think, 31-29. So, yeah, very, very similar offense because most things were on the outside, very little running. You're right.
Yeah, and then, the other thing I wondered, I don't know if you're an all-22 guy or not, but if you have an opinion, from just watching the broadcast, I didn't see Awesome Richards besides having the greatest name for football, next to Golden Richards, of course. But I didn't see anything just watching the broadcast, any big, huge busts where he looked like he was the weakness in the line. But if you had an opinion, and I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Good, thanks for the call. Did not see the all 22 yet. In fact, I thought it comes out a little later in the week, or maybe not on Monday. But I haven't seen that, and I really didn't go back and watch Awesome Richards. I think he's a guy that needs reps. And they're okay giving it to him. So Tyron Smith, from my understanding, could have played in the game. I wanted to play in the game, but they decided to hold him out. That makes me think he should be ready for next week. And then if that's the case with the Chuma Edoga with an ankle sprain, not a high ankle sprain, just a low ankle sprain, which means, a week or two, if that. I mean, Kevontae Turpin had a sprained ankle and came back the next week. So who knows? Who knows? Every injury is different. But, it didn't look like Chuma Edoga was going to be back in a week. He got carted off, I think, afterwards. So if he's out for a little bit and Tyron Smith is back, I could see Awesome Richards being your swing tackle. If not, if Tyron is not back, then they might need to make some decisions and figure out what's their best option. Is Awesome Richards a better left tackle than TJ Bass is at guard, which means Tyler Smith might move back. I don't think they want to move Tyler Smith right now. So I would imagine Awesome Richards would start at left tackle if that's the case. But I think they're hoping that Tyron Smith should be able to come back. All right, let's go to Mark in Florida. Mark is next. Mark, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how are you, my friend?
Good.
After yesterday, it's all rainbows and lollipops. But I got to tell you, I'm still very concerned about this team.
Okay.
To me, we're 7 games in, and I don't see a running game. I don't see that fourth quarter, that 4-minute offense that they call for, right, to put games away. I just haven't seen it. And I'm concerned. I just don't think you could throw your way through this whole season. So just your thoughts on our running game.
Yeah. They haven't had to do that yet. They will. I mean, games are going to be that way. It's going to get tighter. It's going to get colder. It's going to be tougher to throw. There are going to be games like that. They haven't had that game yet because the game that was close against the Chargers, I mean, they were down. I mean, they were tied. They drove down, ran the offense, got a touchdown, got a stop. I'm sorry, drove down, kicked a field goal. But, yep, they weren't really in that mode. They haven't been in that mode where it was like, all right, we got to run the ball, get off the field, and try to put this game away. They haven't had a game like that. But, I mean, if they're struggling running the ball when you think it's 50-50, you know they're going to struggle running the ball when it's 90-10 on the percentage on when everyone knows you're going to run. That's the issue, and so you're not wrong there. They're having a really hard time managing that to the point where they're kind of getting away from it, and they're taking what's there. I don't see teams just loading up to stop the run. I mean, so that's kind of the problem right now. So it's an issue, and I kind of think the Cowboys need to address this. I'm not saying go out and get the running back everyone's asking for, but I think that when you're looking at Tony Pollard and his career and if he hasn't been injury prone, but he's taking a lot of hits right now. So I think I would try to look to maybe bolster that room a little bit more with a veteran guy. Rico Dowdle's done a good job for what they've asked him to do, but I still think this position's maybe lacking a little bit. But I think the offensive line is not providing the holes for the running game. That's the real thing. I don't think it's really Tony Pollard as much or Rico. I think it starts with the line. And if you can bolster that, go ahead. But I don't know. I think you might need to see a little bit more help there, one way or another, in the running game. All right, Kevin in Ashland, Virginia, you're next.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller. I'm
Awesome.
doing good, thank you.
Great.
First-time caller, long-time listener. I love the show, man.
All right.
Y'all doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I think you were just talking about it. It was a great game yesterday, but the only thing, I think I just didn't see no run game going on. And I think at this point, I don't know if it's if it's something to worry about in the future because, with a great run game, I feel like this team can do so much more. I just wanted to get your opinion and what do you think of it?
What would you hold on, Kevin? What would you? What do you think's the biggest issue, though? You think it's offensive line? Do you think it's Tony Pollard is not getting it done? I mean, what is the? Because it's easy just to say, well, this is the problem, but like specifically, what do you think?
I can't just by looking at it, I want to say maybe it's offensive line, but. Honestly, I just feel like comfortable having a bigger back in the backfield to just share the ball with Tony Pollard. Maybe that will loosen up more, but that's what I think. I know people have different opinions, but
it's kind of a mystery. That's kind of the issue right now. Thank you for the call, Kevin, and you've put Virginia in the lead here when the states of our callers here. We have 2 now from Virginia. So I always think that's interesting to see where our calls come from. I mean, last week we had one in Bahamas, France, and so we're all over the globe here. But for the states, Virginia's always been always one of the top 5 or 6 states when it comes to Cowboy fans. Just a lot there, and I know a lot of them are anti-Washington fans, and that's kind of, in the fan bases over there probably split a lot, but it's always been a ton of Cowboy fans in Virginia. As for the call, you're right. I mean, it's offensive line is part of it. I mean, but they struggled a little bit in the pass block at first, and then they kind of slowed things down. I mean, Dak got hit a lot though yesterday. I mean, he did. He got hit a lot, and that's a little bit concerning. And you could say, well, they're playing against Aaron Donald, but it seems like every week it's going to be something. Philadelphia has a wave of pass rushers, and their defensive front is nasty. They give up plays. I mean, they give up yards. There's no doubt about it, but they're going to be bringing it. That's going to be another big challenge for this team. So they're going to have to figure it out. But the running game, I mean, there's no other ways to slice it. I mean, every caller is saying the same thing, and you're not wrong. Yeah, good win. Really strong win for the team, but that the running game you got to be balanced. You can't just sit there and say we're going to throw the ball all over the yard like that. You got to figure out a way to be balanced, and they're trying different things. Like they know it's a problem. I mean, look at it. I mean, last week Brandon Cooks had a couple of runs around the edge. He had He had one in this game for 3 yards. CeeDee Lamb had one for 12 yards. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of reverses here and end arounds or whatever. I mean, they're trying different things here to help move the football without just throwing it and dropping back every single time. All right, let's go to another caller before we go to break. Bob in Rio Grande Valley. Bob is up. What's up?
Morning, Nick. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing great. It's kind of basking in a little glow, but I'm not going to go overboard with it. One of the things I noticed yesterday in the game was that, and I think a real compliment needs to go out to Bones Fossil and the special teams that they played extraordinary yesterday. And this thought about our future and this year, of course, we all want to get to the Super Bowl, and I agree that a bell cow running back would probably be the thing that would put us over the top for this year. But trading away draft choices when we're looking at the future, particularly of our offensive line, where we're really going to need some help in the coming years. It seems to me like the best investment would be to try to find a way to get somebody to help out on with the running game right now, and maybe not go get one of these really top guys that's going to cost us a high draft choice. What do you think?
Well, let me ask you this: what would you feel better about it if they got a Leonard Fournette? Would you?
Depends on what it would cost us.
I mean, he's on the street.
Here's what I'm looking at. Okay, Tyrone
Smith.
A liability. And he's obviously at the end of his career going to be pretty doggone quick if he's not already. And that has got to be addressed. And so if we get a running back of this guy's caliber, and we can get him at the right price, go for it, because it might be the thing that would put us over the top this year.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for the call. I mean, it's there's not a ton of options to go get a running back, but I mean, I think if the Cowboys wanted to go get a running back, they could do that. They could go and trade for somebody, and it's not going to be a lot. You know, I mean, you might lose your third round pick. You know, if that's a lot, but I'm just saying. But I think I would be okay with doing something like that because, but I would want to get a running back that I think I could have for next year, because right now you really don't have an option for that. So I would look at a running back that you like, that you know you could be this year, learn the offense, plug in here and there, and then also help you next year or down the road. If that situation happened, I would be willing to look at that, you know, because you do need to look down the road. I'll say this: I'm going to disagree with you on the Tyron Smith being a liability. I think his inconsistency that hurts. Like his inconsistency in the lineup, it definitely hurts. He's not a liability when he's out there, though. I mean, he may give up a sack or two. I mean, they're all giving up some plays here and there, but when he plays, he's playing well. So I don't know if he's a liability. I just think it's frustrating because he's not there and available for you as much. All right, let's take a quick break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back. We got more calls and more texts.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't stop banking.
Erica is only available in in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline here. We got a few more minutes here to talk about this Cowboys win over the Rams, 43-20. I think most people are excited about the game, and getting a win, 23-point win at home is big. They dominated the game really, and all three phases were complete. That's what's good about it. Special teams. I didn't mention that before on the last caller, but yeah, the special teams was big for this team. John Fossil, who coached for the Rams for 8 years, St. Louis, L.A. He's been with that organization for 8 years, and yesterday was amazing when you think about what they did. Brendan Aubrey, 18 straight field goals. He's tied an NFL record to start a career. That's amazing. One of them was a 58-yarder. Sam Williams blocks a punt for a safety. Kevontae Turpin returns that for 63 yards on close to set up a touchdown. Has another punt return that was called back for a penalty, and I think it was a good call, and I don't think he goes for a touchdown if it's not a penalty. So, but still, just the playmaking ability for him to go and do that is big. Sam Williams is a gunner. What? Never seen that. I've never seen a linebacker do that here, unless I am missing somebody. But it reminds me of old Hollywood Henderson running down there. I mean, that was pretty impressive. I don't know if you saw in the fourth quarter, he did it twice. One of them made the tackle, just beats his guy off the line and runs down there. So impressive. But John Fossil and the special teams has been outstanding, and you got to give them credit. All right, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob, what's up? It's Rob.
Yeah.
What's up, Rob?
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good now. Good win. It's nice that Mike McCarthy listens to your show.
Well, I doubt he does.
Because, this is kind of what we talked about. Dumbing down the offense for a quarterback, a top 10 quarterback, I thought was not a good move. You dumb it down for the offense, you dumb it down for the defense. And it's nice that in the bye, we asked him, bring back some of the stuff that Dak did good with when Kellen Moore was calling plays, and I think they did that.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with the running. I don't need Dak to be a running quarterback, but I thought those were some of the biggest plays is when he was running for first downs. And that's all you need. If you need 5, you need 10, and you could go get it, extends the drive, and good things happen.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the best games he's played in his career, the way he threw, but he's throwing the ball really good. Sometimes he aims the ball. I thought he was doing that in the beginning of his season, and now he's actually throwing it. You could see how it comes off his hand. I don't think we trade for a running back. You're not going to get anybody better than what you got now with Tony Pollard. But I do think right now, probably because of the injury, he's not as explosive. Rico Dowdle actually looks more explosive. I think if they give him some more carries, that would help. And trade deadline, linebacker, wide receiver. If you could get the defensive tackle from Washington, which you probably can't, that would be great. and defensive back. I think if you could get another defensive back, the guy they're talking from Chicago, I'm not familiar with him, but I keep hearing about him. I think they're good as long as because offensive line, nobody's giving up offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to get line. Everybody needs lineman help. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the call, Rob.
You got it.
Good stuff. Dak is throwing the ball better. And also, he did have that interception in the red zone. That was not a good play call. It made me rank. I ranked the 11 players on offense that are skill players that you would get the ball to. I just went down. I was like, CD, Pollard, Cooks, all that. And I had, out of the 11, I had number 9, 10, and 11 that on one play, on the interception, those three guys, those are your three not worst playmakers, but they're the least guys that are going to make these plays. Lipke, McEwen, and Schoonmaker, all in this little Texas triangle across the middle of the field. And it's like, what are they doing? And it got tipped and bad, wasn't a good throw, got knocked in the air, interception, and it's just like, you're just moving down the ball here with Cooks and CD and Pollard, and then you get down there and then you try something, with Lipke going across the field and all that. But, hey, that happens. You kind of get in the bag a little bit, like, all right, we got this thing rolling, and a little bit of a reality check there. It's like, all right, let's get back to what we're doing here. We don't have to get cute. I thought that was interesting. But, yeah, I think Dak played great. And we've talked about the trade deadline. I can't wait for a trade deadline to be, here and gone. I think they should make a move. But, there's been so much talk about it. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I guess maybe a divisional matchup with the Eagles. That would be interesting if that happens. But yeah, that's kind of where we stand right now. We got a few more minutes in the show. The phone lines are open, 888-855-2297. And the Cowboys, I just, where does this team stand right now? Where do they stand? 5-2. You've got a team that's, I think that they're one of the top teams. I really do. But it doesn't matter, though, really, right now. You play who you play. What have we learned in the last 2 to 3 weeks of the whole NFL season is that things will change. Exactly what you think is going on is not the way, it's going to be in 3 weeks or a month. Do I still think the 49ers are an elite team? Yeah. And it's kind of scary what's going on in San Francisco if you're being honest about it, because is San Francisco really that good? What do they have going on? Do they have injuries? Because if they're really not that good, then it makes that loss even worse. Just like the Arizona game. You thought maybe Arizona's not bad. Well, no, that's not the case. They seem to be pretty bad, but they beat you. The 49ers haven't won a game since that 42-10. So I get it. Matchups are different. One team can play this team tough and then not. Cowboys beat the Jets by 20. The Jets go beat Philly. Does that mean the Cowboys go beat Philly? If they do, it won't be because of that. It'll just be because they play better. And they've been a good matchup. When you look at Philly and Dallas matching up, last year both teams won at home against the backup quarterback. So the Eagles, it was a tough game. Cooper Rush did his thing, but he had 3 interceptions in the game, and the Eagles were better, and they won the game, and they ran the ball when they really needed to and won that game. Cowboys came back and played against Gardner Minshew, who had 350 yards. So he had a great game. Is Jalen Hurts going to play that much better than that? I don't know, but the Cowboys won that game, and it was a really good one. So now this should be a good matchup. First time we really get to see in I guess a couple years of Hurts and Dak playing against each other. So it should be a real good one. All right, let's go to the calls here. Nick in Austin. Nick is next. What's up, Nick?
Hey, buddy, I got back in. Long time no talk to. I got 3 things. One, offense, defense, and special teams. On offense, people keep talking about running back, and I think you're right. If they want to do anything, I think Leonard Fournette would be the cheapest, best way to go. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to do anything, then I would love to see Hunter Lipke because he's a big back, like they're talking about, and the guy catches everything.
Yeah.
And then with defense, I think, I don't know, I know you've seen it, but like our rush as far as pressure has been good, but we haven't been getting sacks. And that kind of concerns me a little bit.
Yeah.
For the simple fact, with this quarterback, he's very mobile, and if you don't contain that middle, you give him any space, he's gone.
Yeah.
And then with the special team, this is my question with God, my brain farted. Our returner,
Turpin.
Do you think he's going to make the Pro Bowl? And I'll hang up and listen.
Probably not, because he made it last year. So I mean, I wouldn't imagine. That's not one of those things where you get it every year. I mean, he has to make some big plays, and he's had some, but they've been called back. So he had the one yesterday. I'm trying to see, where did that? I guess they put that as a kickoff return, so that's good for him. I mean, I was always curious on where that actual stat would go for a return on a safety. But no, I mean, he might make it. I mean, he's going to have to make some. He probably has to score a touchdown and do it in a big game. I can't tell you. I know a lot of other returners doing things though. So it's kind of gone away. I mean, it's almost like fullback. There's not many people out there that are making a difference there. So who knows? He did it last year. Maybe he does. Maybe he does come back. But I think they this is going to be a big test this week for this defense. I mean, they're putting pressure on there. Micah Parsons, like you can see the Rams a couple times, more than that, where the guard and tackle we're really just straight double team. This wasn't like a tight end chipping and helping or a running back. This was guard and tackle going up against Micah Parsons. So, that should open up some things for some other guys. It was good to see Dorrance Armstrong get in there and get a sack. He's been kind of quiet lately. So, but one of the other callers said, Cowboys do well against quarterbacks that aren't as mobile. And, this is what we'll see this week. Jalen Hurts is certainly mobile and is able to move around. And I think this is a really big game, though, for Micah Parsons because, the Eagles have done a really good job against him. They've been able to slow him down, neutralize him, and the read option is one of the reasons that kind of does that. One thing that I'm seeing a lot more is Parsons rushing from the middle, and that could change things a little bit with the read option. It might give the ball up a little bit more to the running backs. If Parsons is right there in the middle, or he might keep it. He might try to go to the outside, depending on where Parsons is. But he needs to keep doing what he's doing and going all over the place. All right, let's go to the next caller, Pete in Connecticut. Pete, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How about them Cowboys?
How about them?
I just wanted to say I'm really happy Sam Williams got some playing times. I think he's going to be a difference maker the more you let him on the field. And then one other quick thing I just want to say, is there anybody in the trade deadline we can get for left tackle? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you. It's not going to be anybody that you – I mean, unless they decide that they want to trade for somebody that is, going to be here for a while, and unless you're probably giving up something pretty good. I just can't imagine who wants to get rid of tackles. I mean, it just doesn't happen. All right, thanks for the call, Pete. But I honestly think that offensive lineman trade deadline, I don't see it happening. I really don't, unless it's a guy out there that maybe his last year of his deal, and teams don't think they can get They're going to be able to re-sign him, and the season's not going well. I mean, yeah, it could happen, but you're probably going to have to give something up for it, just like you would anyway. You might have to give more up for the offensive lineman than almost any other position, other than probably quarterback. But so yeah, I definitely think that's something that they're going to be looking all over the place here to see just what they can do to fill the gaps here. As for Sam Williams, he wants to get more playing time on defense, but he's been out there. He got to do some things, but his thing, he's got to cut down on his penalties. I mean, he gets a lot of penalties for the amount of time he's out there. So he's got to make sure and help his own cause when he's out there and doing things. But, to block a punt on special teams, I mean, think about, this team, they've got the 2 games in a row against the Rams, they've blocked a punt. Both of them were defensive ends. I mean, Sam Williams last game, and then last year was Dorrance Armstrong blocking a punt. Just the athletic ability of these defensive ends to do that, and then for Sam Williams to play gunner, like I said, that's insane. All right, Ricardo in Minnesota, you're next. Probably our last caller today. Ricardo.
Ricardo from Mountain Lake, Minnesota.
All right.
Question for you, Nick. What is the biggest player matchup or matchups that we need to win to able to beat Philly this Sunday?
All right. Already there. We're going into matchups, Cowboys and Eagles. Thanks for the call. I can't tell you that I'm diving in just yet to the matchups of the game. We kind of look backwards on Monday for this one. But Philly doesn't sneak up on anybody. I mean, you kind of know them. You see them twice a year, and they're all over, TV on, they play primetime games. And so we've watched them. I think it's the fact that they've got 2 really good wide receivers. I mean, really good first-round pick guys in Devontae Smith, and then, of course, A.J. Brown, who's just a beast. He's bigger than some tight ends. I mean, he's really going to be a tough matchup for anybody. But what makes them so good is that, who's got Devontae Smith? I mean, you can't just try to double teams. And so that right there, that's the first thing that pops out to me. Like I said earlier, Micah Parsons, they have to figure out ways for Micah Parsons to be a big factor in the game. But the Eagles got to stop CeeDee Lamb. I mean, the Eagles have some issues too. They're going to have to stop this offense. So it's going to be a fun matchup, I think. But to me, when I look at them, I think the Cowboys in the secondary, and this is the game when Trayvon Diggs got hurt. I looked at games like the 49ers and Philly. You might be able to get by some of these other teams, but when you go up against teams that have loaded themselves up with weapons like these 2 have, especially Philly, this is where it's going to be tough. I mean, as great as Deron Bland is playing, and Stephon Gilmore is doing a really nice job as well, but this is where I think losing Trayvon Diggs is probably going to hurt him the most. So, but we'll see. We'll see how they step up. It's going to be a big one for Jordan Lewis is going to have to get in there and do his thing. So those corners and safeties will be tested for sure. All right, but we'll talk about that all week long. This has been a fun one here. Cowboys defeat the Rams 43-20. They are at 5-2. So we'll talk about that moving forward, where they kind of stand in the rest of the league, and we'll talk about more big picture things tomorrow. And, of course, getting ready for the Eagles on Sunday. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!